So if you're watching this afterwards, you can just skip ahead for those 5 to 10 minutes. In the meantime, Lyle, do you want to share your PV poke screen with me?
Sure, I'm not battling. For sure.
Still running the same thing?
No, it's my alt. I mean, this is my girlfriend's account.
Okay. Are you able to shoutcast it for us?
Yeah, I have an Umbreon and they have a knockdown, so we're gonna be here a little bit.
Okay, cool. Lucky we allowed for this 5 to 10 minutes, eh?
And there's a, I wonder what they have in the back. The lead was Quagsire. It's probably Sableye, right? Makes sense.
Does it? Hey, Beastad.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm
No, it's not Sableye. Jesus, it's a Gliscor. Okay.
Ooh.
It's not what it's
That's
sort
a
of
weird
because
thing.
like, yeah, very weird team. Okay, how's that? I wanted to save my Umbreon in case there was a Sableye, but turns out it's a Gliscor, which is interesting because that means they're running ABA ground. But I don't know, interesting team.
Beastad's faction is taking on Pallet Town Red. Do you want the inside goss? Beastad, do you want me to be a spy for you?
No, that's not a...
Just wanted to see his response.
To mine or his?
His.
Okay, come on, Umbreon.
Oh, it's still going. Jeez.
Well... Oh, we're good, Oh. Yeah, I stored like 2 foul plays on Umbreon.
Yeah.
I was able to powder snow down the Gliscor, get the final shield, and then with the foul plays I had hit off on it earlier, did a couple more powder snow damage just to get it in double foul play range. So
Very nice. That's some
yeah,
play.
the Chestnut team is going pretty well. It's like, I don't know, it's very tricky to use. I've sent some videos to Home Slice Henry, so maybe he might. I thought it was worthy of a YouTube video because it was kind of a fun team to use. So
yeah, sure. And so, do you know what his like process is? Like, do you, will he get around to doing a video to for everyone that sends it in, or like will he pick one at random, or does he just look for his favorites?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Do you have to be a patron
For what?
to send him battle footage?
No, I just messaged him on
right.
Discord.
Yeah, interesting.
I was like, hey, hold on one second. There's a factions thing. Okay, yeah, I basically just messaged him. I was like, hey, are you still looking for, like, I don't know if he's gonna feature it enough, but, oh, you want me to zoom in? Because you can't see shit?
That's right, because you're... Is this your phone or your computer?
My computer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I just messaged him, was like, hey, like, I have some battle footage around, like, the CeeLo. I have, like, 3 sets I recorded, with, like, this team. Are you interested in, like, are you still looking for a Great League content? Like, and he was like, yeah, sure, I'll take a look. And I'm like, okay, there you go. Like, I just put it on, like, a Google Drive or something. I mean, definitely some interesting battles in there. The one battle was freaking insane. Like, it was Chestnut into Chestnut into Pelipper. Then I swapped into Frostlass, and they like were a little slow swapping. They brought in an Umbreon, and I was able to get to like two, almost like I think I got to like almost 3 avalanches because they were like over farming a bit.
Okay.
And they ended up shielding one, or they didn't shield. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, they shielded one. Then I like vine whipped up a bunch of energy.
You got a shield out of an Umbreon, you said, with your Frostlass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good start.
But then I was able to vine whip them down.
Yeah.
And I double frenzied the Pelipper. They didn't shield the first one. They shielded the second one. And then I swapped to Zard, and I had 1 shield left, I think. I think I had 1 shield left. And because I think they stayed in with the Pelipper to throw a Weather Ball, I think I shielded that. That's why I had so much energy on the Frostlass. So I got the 3 avalanches. They shielded one of them. And then in the back was a Lantern. Okay, Spark Lantern for my Charizard. I landed a Blast Burn, and I purposefully tried to CMP them on their second Surf with a Dragon Claw. It did just enough damage that I was able to Vine Whip down before they got to a move and Frenzy the Pelipper.
That sounds pretty crazy.
That was a fun one. That was literally like, because I'm like, okay, my only hope in this battle is if for some reason they CMP me on their next, because like I'm like I need to land a Dragon Claw, right? And I need to farm them down. So if I just throw a Dragon Claw, they're just gonna over farm, right? So I tried to CMP them and it worked out. So
so you record all of your battles, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did record some of these ones. I should have been recording more. Like there was a lot of really fun ones, but I just I don't know. I usually don't record battles.
As a content creator, I would love there to be more than 5 sets per day, because like the amount of content that I would love to make, like I've just started doing this this idea of play of the day, which I've been putting on TikTok and YouTube. I've done 2 so far, and it's just like a little less than a minute rundown of like, here's one specific moment that got this trainer the win. And so the first one was what did I do for the first one? It was just like a catch on a Pokemon that allowed me to flip a battle, and then the second one was ridiculous. It was actually my opponent had the play where...
That's the worst.
What's that?
So that's the worst when you get dunked on.
Look, I had to respect it. It was Poliwrath Mirror lead. This was Ember Cup. Poliwrath Mirror lead. They win CMP on the first one, and they've got the Dynamic Punch. So on the second one, I catch the move on Moltres, but they saw that coming, so they threw Scold on the second one. Completely one-shots the Moltres.
Skill issue. That's a skill issue. They probably just assumed you were gonna shield, so they they threw the Skull because they want to get the debuff.
Of course. And it's like, I can't even be mad at that. Like, that's just absolute. I mean,
I feel like a Dynamic Punch would do quite a bit to a Moltres too.
It would, but it'll be fine. Yeah, like it'll survive and be able to do damage to whatever they bring in after that.
Yeah, I was battling my friend. We were doing practice, and he was, I guess, weak to Poliwrath. So he tried to catch a Scald on his Poliwrath, but I was like a little too smart for that. And then, but I had so much energy, I knew he was gonna try to get off his Dynamic Punch right away. So I caught it on the Gligar. That felt nice.
Oh yeah. Also, hi Ryan and
Ryan,
hi Tomato. 4:30 a.m. for Tomato.
Uncle B-Stud's here too. What's up?
Yep, B-Stud. All right. Do you want to get into it?
Sure. I did some small practice and stuff in this tournament or this cup, so I have like a little bit of an idea. Honestly, it's funny though. Like I never really enjoyed the open leagues, but I'm starting to get like a more of a feel for the open leagues Now that I've been doing more of open formats and factions, especially, I think.
Good. Yeah.
I'm getting like a better handle of it, so I don't mind Open Great League. You know, you have the option at least. If you get sick of Basti Medicores, you can go to the Weather Cup, right? So.
It would also help with your play Pokemon as well. Yeah.
Just run Runerigus, and then you can destroy Basti Medicore, right?
That's a good point.
We all know about Runerigus around these parts, right?
Yeah, everyone knows about Runerigus. It's the worst kept secret in GBL.
Okay, let's see here. What are we doing? Yo, speaking of which, do we even need to do a friggin' breakdown of this, like, trash Shola Cup?
The electric.
Bro, I looked at some of the stuff. Like, Water Gun Lantern is just, like, actually broken in this meta.
Isn't that the week you're away, though?
This is next week.
Yeah, so we're doing Weather Cup this time.
I know, but next week we'll be doing this, the 24th. Yeah. I'm not away that week.
Oh, you're not away that week?
But I think this meta just looks...
I've been...
Look at the numbers. Look at the number 6-1.
Yeah,
Rock Lowland Geodude, huh? Get out of here. Let's go to Weather Cup. That looks fun. That looks actually fun. Because we did Weather Cup, Great Ultra League, right? We did Weather Cup Ultra League.
Did we?
Yeah. You don't remember that?
No, we did. Isn't Ultra League Weather Cup coming later?
No, that was last season. We did Ultra League Weather Cup.
Huh. I don't remember that. I'll have to look back through our.
It was like YouTube. A lot of Regirock. Razor Leaf, Abomasnow, Credilli was like a really top pick, the XL Credilli.
Oh yeah, because like a whole bunch of like the top picks were grass, and so we kept thinking that grass was one of the types. No, I mean water is one of the allowed types. That's what I'm thinking. Well, a lot of the top picks were grass. You had like
maybe you were
Credilli.
Confused. I was never confused. Like let's not get this. Twisted. Okay?
I bet you anything. Now that it's coming back to me, I reckon there would be some point in our breakdown where you were talking about the grass type Pokemon as being like one of the allowed types.
No, get out of here. Okay, so right off the bat, I'll just say like the two big types in this meta are water and rock. Okay, What is super effective on water and rock?
Grass.
Right. So, like, in the top 10, you'll notice there's 1, 2, 3 Razor Leafers.
And Laleep. Oh, wait, Laleep with Bullet Seed. With that's an unattainable move. So, I mean, you could run probably Infestation, right?
Well, Laleep doesn't have Bullet Seed, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Or it doesn't have Razor Leaf. But if you look, there is literally 4 Pokemon in the meta that learn Razor Leaf.
Yeah.
Okay? And they're all top... The worst is top 16, and that's XL Lombra. The other ones are all top 10, and Shadow Bombsnow is top 5. So, this is like a very telling thing about this cup. There was a lot of double Razor Leafs last time. But what this will do is bring out the fires. For as much water as there is, this will bring out the fire and some bug types as well. The bug subtyping.
So Charizard seems like an obvious option. It's rated 77.5 though.
It depends on how many. It just depends on okay. So Charizard's big thing is Fashion Move pressure. It doesn't matter what type it's going against. If it has low fast move pressure that it's going against, it's a fine matchup for it. Like it doesn't matter if it's going against like a Swampert or a Credilli even or something like that. Like if you have low fast move pressure, it's not too bad for it. But if like Rock Throw starts becoming a thing in this meta, and then Charizard might be in trouble because you definitely don't want to be around Rock Throwers. Also, Bastiodon is in this meta. Keep in mind. I mean, Bastiodon doesn't use Rock Throw; it uses Smackdown, right? Personally, I like Regirock a lot for the Stone Edge. It does have Rock Throw, I think, but why would you run Rock Throw when you have Lock On?
Wow.
And Lock On Stone Edge is just like
Yeah.
an insane combo, right? It's like the fastest basically moves in the game, other than maybe like. Wait, how much energy is Octazooka? I don't even know. Or Tri Attack is probably one of the faster moves.
Tri Attack is 50 as well, I believe.
Okay, so those are very fast, right? For those two Pokemon.
So I'm looking at Probo and Sudowoodo.
Sudowoodo looks interesting. Definitely looks interesting.
With Meteor Beam Rock Slide.
Yeah, if you get a Meteor Beam off, you start boosting those counters. Imagine Meteor Beaming a Bastiodon.
Well, you're thinking Rock Throw, right?
Well, I think probably counter is better on Sudowoodo.
Okay.
But I'm just saying in general, like you know how these metas are, like people think, oh, like just like the Ultra League Holiday Cup, it was like, oh, it's too difficult to like bait a Weather Ball, or like if they shield my Meteor Beam, what do I do? Like I'll just throw rocks at it and then I don't have to think and just tap my screen, right? Like no offense, but that's kind of like what people go down. Oh, actually thinking and using critical thinking and trying to like be, battle? Oh no, why would I do that when I can just throw rocks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, throw rocks to things up in the heavens, basically.
Sure.
Yeah. That's my take on rock throwers, but anyways.
Alright, here's what I want to look at. How does Credilli perform against the Razor Leafers?
It does okay. It probably still loses, but Credilli is one of those things where it like doesn't necessarily win everything.
Yeah.
But it'll put in a lot of work because it's bulky, and the grass rock typing is definitely nice typing. Plus, keep in mind, I think the most popular Pokemon is gonna be Lantern by far. So.
Well, I mean, you're pointing out the very real threat of Razor Leaf. So I don't know if that'll push Lantern down.
But Lantern does really well against basically everything else.
I mean, those aren't that bad. I'm surprised at this rating for a Abomasnow.
Well, it has Stone Edge, right? So that's why.
Yeah, but Abomasnow.
Ludicolo, you have Groove Loop. Yeah, but it gets there very Credilli will outpace it. It takes 18 turns to get to a Weather Ball with Razor Leaf.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you're running Abomasnow, are you going to use Razor Leaf?
Probably. It does because you need that grass damage. Energy Ball can kind of make it kind of like a little bait dependent at times, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Hey, Sandic.
So it's easy when you can just get that fast move damage of grass typing, as opposed to having to rely on the nuke beta nuke strat. It's more consistent, I would say, for sure, especially if you're using it as a grass type attacker. Plus, there's not a ton of things that are going to resist grass in this meta. Even Ludicolo takes neutral from grass, right? So
it does. Alright, so let's look at the Lantern then. 17 wins, 9 losses against the meta.
Mainly the grass types and the ground types are the two things it's losing to, right? That's pretty much it.
I wanna see what it's losing to that's not grass. There's Kingdra. Do we see much use for Kingdra?
It was pretty good in the Ultra League one. I don't know. I feel like Kingdra always sims worse than it actually performs.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Excuse me. If it's rank low, I still think it was probably pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean,
it's definitely not quite as good in Great League as it is in Ultra League, because it is a little glass on the glassier side.
Yeah, true.
But definitely...
That's basically the same as Charizard. Charizard was that rating as well.
What, for the stat product?
for the overall rating.
Yeah. Like, it loses to Pelipper, but that's obviously, like, bait dependent.
Yeah.
Swampert. You're basically beating, like, the fires. I think it was better in Ultra League, but it's definitely interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, you are losing to a Bomb Snow. You at least, in these losing matchups, you can get a shield out of them.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a good, like, pivot in this meta for sure. Because you'll get a shield from your opponent even if you end up losing the matchup.
Yeah. Which is really...
And there's really only A9 is really the only Charmer, I think. And, like, now that Charm's nerfed, and there's going to be so many, like, rock types, I'm not sure, let's see, at Charm.
Oh, there's
Tyrantrum. Oh, there's Ninetales. Yeah, Primarina, Beartic, Brion.
Tyrantrum can throw rocks and charm.
It's a mixed bag. You never know what you're going to get from that thing. It's very glassy, and seems interesting, yeah. I don't know. Not sure Tarantum's that good.
I mean, the Razor Leaps are neutral against it.
So there's 4 dragons. This one looks interesting, I think, if you're looking for a dragon type. I think Tyrant is just better than Tyrantrum.
Okay.
Same typing, but this has Meteor Beam Crunch, and this has Dragon Claw Ancient Power. Okay? So it's much better.
Is the Ancient Power much easier?
Yeah. Ancient Power hits Abomasnow.
Yeah,
It'll hit
right.
like any flyers potentially.
But Abomasnow would probably still win that one, right? Because of the ice.
Says here that it's
Sorry.
It beats Abomasnow.
Okay, there we go.
But Shadow probably wins, I would assume, yeah. Just because of the Razor Leaf damage alone.
I'm still thinking Powder Snow. Yeah, because if it's running Powder Snow, then you're outpacing to those charge moves.
Yeah, but if you're running Powder Snow, then you might end up in like a worse matchup with, let's say, Ludicolo or even like Bastiodon, let's say, for instance. Like, you can, like, Razor Leaf actually doesn't do that horribly here. Like, look at, you get the Bastiodon to 57%. Just with Razor Leaves.
I'm still not that impressed by that. Like, I'm still leaning towards Powder Snow. Like,
You're not thinking like a Weather Cup player. You're thinking. Also, I don't know. I really don't like Abomasnow. I don't know why. It's just like every time I've tried to use it, it just feels underwhelming.
For this meta or in general?
In general, I don't
really.
I don't know. It's like a personal preference thing.
Yeah, for me, I think it's my favorite Pokemon to play.
I don't know. It just always feels like it should be doing more.
Specifically the Shadow. I like the Shadow. The regular.
If I'm gonna use an Ice type, I just prefer Frostlass.
That's also fun. Doucheklops says, "Well, I did build a Lombre that I never used. Is this its moment?"
Probably. If you built a Lombre, I don't see when else you would be able to use it other than
yeah, rank 16.
It does have Bubble too, but again, I'm not sure about that. You're probably gonna want to run it as a Razor Leafer. It has Bubble Beam. Most people will probably run Razor Leaf, Ice Beam, Bubble Beam. Because, like, you don't really need Grass Knot when you're running Razor Leaf. You can just debuff your opponent and then do more Razor Leaf damage for longer, basically.
Totally.
That's my suggestion.
Ludicolo doesn't have Bubble Beam, does it?
No, Ludicolo has some higher energy moves, I think.
They're all 55 energy moves. Or higher.
Wait, why is it not showing me the charge moves here? Yeah, Hydro Pump, Blizzard, Solar Beam, Energy Ball, Leaf Storm. It's kind of bulky though. Maybe that's why it's ranked a bit higher, because you can do more Razor Leaf damage. Yeah. I mean, if that's what you're into.
Bulky.
Because bulkier than Lombre.
It is bulkier than Lombre. We give it that. Ranked
It's
number
funny
7 with
people
a score
just
of
assume like,
92.7.
oh, it's an XL Pokemon. It should be bulky. That doesn't necessarily mean anything.
I can safely say I did not assume that.
This thing is bulky though. You can sort by stat product,
Stat
right?
product, yeah.
Surprise, surprise! The number 1 ranked Pokemon is Basti,
We got
followed by
Toxapex. And it's
Looks
real-
very interesting. Honestly, it's kind of an interesting Pokemon because like even versus like Spark Lantern, like it does a pretty good job.
Does it?
Yeah, because of the sheer bulk. Like look at 443 battle rating versus Lantern.
Yeah, right.
You're dishing out neutral damage, and that's just going straight Sludge Wave.
Yeah. Yeah, so you chip that thing like... Yeah, just just need to do 22 damage.
Even in the Zero Shield, they have 48 HP left.
That's
I think
that's quite good to know.
it's kind of stupid.
Me being a Dusclops user, I tend to presume that Middle Evo is bulkier, so if you don't have a Basti, should you really mess with this cup? What do you mean, should you really mess with this cup?
I think there's a lot of counters to Bastiodon in this cup.
I think so, yeah.
Like Regirock, for instance, is like a really good counter to Basti. Because like Focus Blast does a lot. It does more than a Registeel. Like there's a lot of ground types like Quagsire, Politoed. Lantern is the number 1 ranked Pokemon. It can handle Basti. With the Surf.
It says here,
Swampert
Bastiodon
is
loses
here.
to Alolan Sandslash, which is good. Like, Alolan Sandslash
I
is
think it
resisting your
beats-
Razor Leafs.
I think Basti, loses to Shadow. I'm not sure if it loses to the regular one. It beats the regular, yeah. You need the Shadow.
It does, okay.
Just because Bulldoze is so bad.
Yeah.
That's the main reason. I mean, I like the Shadow, and I think this is actually very interesting, because if there's not a lot of fire, it like doesn't do amazing against the water types, but like it still does okay. So
Well, that Bulldoze doing 45% to a Bastiodon. Get out of here.
yeah, they should have just. I mean, maybe it would have been too good if they gave it high horsepower. I'm not sure.
I had that
like-
exact thought.
Like Steel is like a really good typing, right? So if you give like a Steel, something Steel like a really good charge move, I don't know. Maybe it's just too strong.
I think Steel as a typing needs to be buffed in the debuffed, in the Pokemon universe. Like, it doesn't have to resist every other type.
Yeah. Like, what could it? I don't know. It doesn't resist every type, but resist a lot.
Oh, it resists a freaking lot, yeah. It's, like, it doesn't have to be weak to... it doesn't have to resist, like, Bug. Or Rock. Or Ice. I would like it to be... I would love it if Steel was weak to Electric. I think that makes sense in my head.
Steel used to resist Dark.
I know! How ridiculous is that?
Day.
And it resists Psychic as well, like...
Why not make it resist Ghost too while we're at it? Just make it resist every type.
Everything,
right?
yeah. Oh, hello. I just got a notification on my phone, and it wasn't for this, but I just got distracted by this. A tweet from PV Poke that says, U-turn, charge move. In PvP, it resets your switch clock and allows you to switch after the move. But now I'm looking further into it. This is just this is something I'd like to see. I thought this was like something he'd found in the code or something.
No. That'd be nice, so
yeah.
to change up the switch, make it more dynamic.
I mean, you all know how I feel about the switch clock. Yeah, so Bastiodon, like, yeah, you need basically 2 checks for Bastiodon, right? Because, like, it is pretty darn RPS.
I mean, I think 1 check is fine.
Really?
As long as it's a decent check. Yeah. Like, just make sure, like, you can run some, like, ABV strat to bait out, like, a Basti, right?
But the ABBs work best when you can get a shield from them, right?
Yeah. I don't know how popular Basti is going to be. Probably popular because people love using Bastiodon, but
that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, you don't necessarily need to always get a shield as long as you can keep it away from your one Pokemon that is very weak to it and can kill the rest of their team, right? So
yeah. Or I guess yeah, with that your 2 aims, you're either getting a shield from them or allowing your A Pokemon to come in and just get up a shit ton of energy. So like a Swampert or something can basically build to 100. Like once it comes back in against a Bastiodon.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Swampert looks good. What's that thing called? Quagsire is here. It's got nice coverage with the Stone Edge.
Mm-hmm.
So you can hit flyers. One pick that was super popular in Ultra League, Blaziken. I was thinking to try and run some sort of like a bait out strat with Blaziken safe swap, maybe.
Blaze Kick Brave Bird or
I don't know. They're recommending Blaze Kick Blast Burn, but I really think you want Stone Edge in this meta because there's a lot of water types and there's also a lot of rock types.
Well, against the rock types, you've got your counter.
Yeah, but if you need to against like a Regirock or something, it's always like an awkward matchup because the counters are super effective, but like they don't have to shield the move from you, right? I mean, Blast Burn still hurts, but I also like the thing of because like some of the biggest counters to it are gonna be like maybe like Pelipper and the main thing I was thinking of was Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're running Brave Kick or Blaze Kick Brave Bird, then Lantern also resists your charge moves.
Yeah, right.
So I think Stone Edge is, in my opinion, is my preferred secondary charge move. I may or may not have built a Stone Edge on Blaziken today, so
well argued.
And it's really bad IVs. But it's really good for Ultra League, so I'll just power it up in the future.
So, in the straight one shields, it's not actually getting to a Stone Edge.
Well, because they're throwing a bait.
Yeah, like, so even if it baits, it can't get to a Stone Edge to hit the Lantern. That's starting.
Did you give it any extra energy?
No.
Well, that's your fault.
Oh, I shouldn't have to. Liar.
It's a switch.
Oh, it's a switch, right. So, give it 2 counters, and... Oh, you're getting to another Blaze Kick. That's something.
I feel like... Okay, so I feel like... If I look at the Sims, I feel like if a Lantern came into a Blaziken, they're likely to overfarm. If they swap into you. So, in my opinion, you'll most likely get to throw your Stone Edge before they get to a Surf.
You're counting on an opponent's mistake. I think people are generally more aware than that. They know you're about to get to a Stone Edge.
Nah, people aren't aware.
Hey, Freezy.
So if you land a Stone Edge, you can double shield to flip it. I'm just saying, it is flippable. Right?
In like the most difficult of circumstances, sure.
The 2 zeros, it's possible. Or, okay, like, let's say they are slow. To think. I think it's still okay. It's better than if you have Brave Bird. You can't do anything in that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Stone Edge does almost half to a Lantern. Does 46%. That's a good amount of damage. Let's say Pelipper. Let's say a Pelipper came into you. Okay? Again, they get to the Weather Ball just before you. But a Stone Edge would do 102% to a Pelipper.
I mean,
so
I
think
much preferring Charizard, to be honest, as a fire type.
No, believe me. There's gonna be you don't want it with all these the water and the counter damage is
not
safer.
Convincing me that, like, oh yeah, this is the fire Pokemon to bring in to protect you against those, or not protect you, but like this is the fire Pokemon that can flip those waters. Like, it's like, if you...
Says the guy who doubted Chestnut. Like, we don't listen to this guy. We don't listen to this guy. No, so the Blaziken is meant to try to draw out a Lantern or a Pelipper. That's what I'm gonna try to use it for.
You're thinking of this purely in terms of an ABB team.
I mean, ABB is not... Sure, it's not like I'm running a friggin' Infernape in the back or something.
I don't know what you mean by that.
I mean, it's not... I'm thinking of running it with Araquanid in the back.
So you're actually seriously considering Blaziken for your team?
Yeah, I think Lantern, Blaziken, Araquanid seems like an interesting team that I want to try out.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Cuban.
Because Araquanid's biggest fear is mainly like flying types, right?
Yeah, and your electrics. Well, no,
to some extent,
not all electrics. Specifically,
it can handle Lantern better than it can like a Pelipper, let's say, or a Charizard.
Yeah, and then there's Bastiodon. That's ever present.
Right, you have two things that can beat Bastiodon in your team, so as long as you don't get it lined... I mean, you do have Bubble Beam, which is something.
Yeah.
Right?
Great.
I don't know. That's definitely that's the team I'm considering. I have a couple other ideas, but a lot of the teams that I'm considering are revolving around Araquanid. Like Araquanid and Lantern combination. They seem like a very nice pair.
You're relying on... Oh, maybe not. I was going to say you're relying a lot on the Blaziken to beat a Credilli.
No, the Araquanid can do okay against Credilli because it has... Credilli takes super effective bug damage, right? So you can get like a shield stand. And like Araquanid's super bulky. It can survive like a Stone Edge or something, right? Like... plus, Credilli also takes neutral from water, so it's not like Lantern can't close out the game if it needs to.
You're looking at running Spark on that one?
I think you need Spark. Because you're weak to Lantern, right? You're kind of weak to Lantern, so like your Lantern also is your Lantern counter.
Yeah.
So if you're running Water Gun, then you're basically triple weak to Spark Lantern. So I'm not sure that would work very well.
I'm trying to work out how exactly I feel about Araquanid.
It seems to do well against a lot of the other top picks, other than Bastiodon. Because like it does okay against like the Razor Leafers. Basically, it loses to like Lantern, Bastiodon, and Pelipper. Toxapex, yeah, because of the poison.
Yeah,
I think. Like those are the big ones.
I mean, so Bastiodon, you can forgive that it loses so hard to Basti because everything either hard loses or hard wins against it. So that's not that much of a problem. The fact that it can deal neutral damage to the lantern is promising. It
just
goes
gets outpaced
pretty
right?
well against Blaziken here.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially if you just shield early, right? Like you
Would
shield.
you consider Infestation instead of Bug Bite?
No, we already went over this previously.
We have, and I still like Infestation.
I think one-turn fast moves are better because number one, it gives you more flexibility, and number two, even when they're resisted, they do some damage. Like a decent, they can add up over time. Let's say you need to win a game, you need to farm down a Pelipper. It's possible, but like with him, if you were gonna try to Infestation down a Pelipper, it's not gonna happen.
Then the other side, the con of Bug Bite over Infestation is that it becomes really tricky making the decision of whether to build up to a Bug Bite and then bait with a Bubble Beam or to just go straight Bubble Beam, because like by the time you get to a Bug Buzz, then you're missing out on a lot of time that they could have spent debuffed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. It's not the easiest Pokemon to use, but I think the bulk that it has can make up for a slightly slower moveset. So, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not the speed that I'm worried about. It's specifically that the Bubble Beam is less effective because you're having to build up to that.
I mean, a lot of Pokemon have like bait dependent win cons. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but like Charizard's like a bait Pokemon.
Sure.
It's so good in the meta right now. I know it gets to its moves quick, but it's the same sort of philosophy. It's like it's a bait nuke strat. That's kind of like the antithesis of PvP, right? Like you get the shield with the low energy move, then you throw the high energy move to KO them, right? Like,
I think Araquanid stands on its own in that regard. Like, there's plenty, like, your Pelipper and your
Buzz is only, like, what, 55 energy?
Bug Buzz?
It's not that bad.
It is 60.
60? It's fine.
But then, like, it's, the thing that... Bubble Beam is a really potent weapon on Araquanid, right? Bubble Beam allows it to beat G-Fisk in the one shields. Like,
yeah, it's good. It's really good potent. To have. It's like a nice setup thing too. Like you can also try like leading it. Could be like a nice setup. Like if they swap to something that you don't have a great answer to, you can always Bubble Beam and then like chip and dip kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
So I think it's definitely strong. Or if they only have, you got to be careful only having like one Pokemon left. Because then at that point they just go straight Bubble Beam, right?
Yeah, totally. But if you're having to build up to a Bug Buzz first, which that's where the slowness becomes a real problem, because that you don't have access to that.
What is it, 20 turns?
Yes, is 20 turns to a Bug Buzz. And then
20
Bubble
times
Beam's
3 is
40
60,
energy, right?
60. Yeah, it's Bubble Beam is like I don't know. How many turns? Like, what, 13 or something? 14?
It's 14, yeah.
14 for a Bubble Beam.
Yeah.
And 19 for Mirror Coat, though. Keep that in mind. 55 energy. If you want to Mirror Coat something.
And again, I'm just... I'm not saying...
You're an
Infestation
Arachnid
is
hater.
definitively... I'm not saying Infestation is definitively better for these reasons. I'm just saying here's the argument in Infestation's case.
Yeah. Again, I still think, I will just, like, agree with myself. So I still like, if I have the option, I will try to go with the one-turn move. Even if it's slightly inferior. Just because of the added flexibility of it.
But
just reason why, like, you don't see people running Dragon Tail anymore, right? Technically, Dragon Tail is better than Dragon Breath, but just the flexibility of the one-turn move is really nice.
Look at you changing new tune.
Well, you don't get this good without learning a thing or two. So Lilleep, I don't know. I know Enhoff I think has a Lilleep. It's unobtainable, so if you know someone that has one, you can do a lucky trade with them. Build a Lilleep, enjoy it.
Well, Infestation is a fine substitute for Bullet Seed, I think.
Bullet Seed's better though. It's a better move.
It is.
Actually. So
but, like, Infestation does the same thing.
I think Grass is probably better typing, offensive typing too. Not that they do that much damage, but the benefit that Lilleep has is it has Ancient Power as opposed to Stone Edge, so it's a little spammier, right? That would be the main benefit, because it's basically similar moveset, similar typing, right? So, yeah.
You could run Acid.
I mean, would be good for the
Abomasnow,
I guess.
I mean, so would Infestation though.
Return, you could run Return. Unfortunately, you can't get a purified one with what do you call it, with Bullet Seed, but
no,
because it's been a while since that glitch. I don't know if you ever got one, but
Bullet Seed Lilleep.
Yeah.
No. No, I did not. Have we talked about Swampert much?
No. It's always really good though when it's an option, right? Probably Shadow Swampert is really good.
Do you consider Sludge Wave over Earthquake?
I think you want Earthquake because of how popular Lantern's gonna be.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Especially if you happen to run into like a water gun Lantern.
You're giving up
gonna
like,
be
Toxic
really...
X, but that's not really much of an issue.
Yeah. I think if you're running Shadow, the Hydro hits things resisted like hard enough that you won't miss Sludge Wave.
Yeah.
In most cases. Maybe like you'll one-shot the odd Abomasnow, but other than that, I don't think you're gonna miss Sludge Wave. Also, Jellicent, it helps with like Jellicent, which I don't know. It was Jellicent was pretty popular in the Ultra League meta. Because Blaziken was like super popular.
Okay, sure.
And then Jellicent started becoming like the answer to Blaziken. And also, what was another thing that was really popular was Tentacruel. So like maybe Toxapex. So like Jellicent has really good matchups against those things in particular because of the ghost subtyping, right?
I had something and then I lost it. Oh yeah, the Shadow Swampert. I think it's the Shadow Swampert. Can overcome Credilli in the 2 shields with an energy lead or something like that. So like give it 2 mud shots and it will beat Credilli in the 2 shields.
Yeah. Make sure you're timing that, trainers. No.
Even with just 1.
Don't want to let Bullet Seeds go through though. That looks like the 1 shield that you're assuming.
Yeah, so in the 2 shield here.
Huh. Interesting.
But yeah, you do have to make sure you're timing it right. Also, CJ670, thank you for the follow.
Any good cores as Uncle B said. Like from my anyone give you coaching? I mean, you could join the Discord and see if anyone is available to help out, but right now we're not doing coaching. Personally, from what I was telling Fish, I think the Lantern Arachnid core is going to be quite good.
Yeah.
Other ones that I thought seemed pretty good were like Credilli Blaziken core, something like that also seemed pretty good.
That should have worked. Maybe Streamlabs is down. Oh well.
Streamlabs is down?
Maybe. Might have. Sometimes it just turns itself off.
Yeah, those are the ones that come to mind. Also, Arachnid and Regirock seem like nice together, other than Lantern.
Arachnid Regirock seems like a very difficult core to use.
Just the Lantern is kind of a core breaker for that. So, you could. There was a couple teams I was thinking of running. Specifically like D-Gen cores, like a Regirock Bastiodon core. Yeah, why we're giving it away? I want to have one. Fine. She won't let me eat the Ferrero Rochers. This one?
Let the man have his Ferrero Rochers.
Oh, she's putting them in the box to send back to the Philippines.
Oh.
Huh. You want to come say hi? She's shy. She's camera shy.
I would be amazed if she'd said yes to that. Yeah, I'd love to say hi to your internet friends. So Lantern Credilli is looking pretty good. Look at that. Bam. But, I mean, you know what would beat that though? Powder Snow, Bomber Snow. Kingdra. Out comes Kingdra again. Piloswine, Tyrantrum, Mamoswine. Credilli's a draw with opposing Credilli.
Even Razor Leaf Abomasnow would be like annoying for the score to deal with.
Yeah.
Wouldn't necessarily like beat both Pokemon, but you know what I'm saying? Like, because it does well enough against Credilli. Thank you.
Also, hi Sly.
Rui says he wants the Ferrero Rocher. No, no, she's not having it.
I mean, that Arachnid Lantern core is looking pretty good as well. Like, it doesn't...
How about, wait, what was that? Oh, it was, crap, what was the team? What grass types are there?
What grass types? There's Haybreaker. There was the Abomasnow, there was the Credilli, there was Ludicolo. They were the main three.
Let me see here.
Yeah, and then everything else is like a lower evolution of those three.
Weathercup, right? Regirock, Basti.
So, CJ, this is our weekly breakdown of the upcoming upcoming limited GBL meta. We do this every Tuesday night US time. So we're just taking a look through Weathercup right now.
Swampert. Not Silph. I don't want to look at that. Why'd I quickly on Silph? Okay, Weathercup. Swampert. Lantern. Blaziken. What can beat all three of these things?
Nothing.
Your own Swampert.
Could Ludicolo do it if it was running Bubble? Probably not. Yeah, like if Ludicolo was running Bubble, could it beat the Blaziken?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, the charge moves are all still resisted.
But you probably lose to Lantern.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
maybe
would.
not.
I mean, with Leaf Storm.
Leaf Storm? You still beat Lantern, but it's like closer.
You'd have to. They'd have to shield your Ice Beam first. I imagine if you just go back to back Leaf Storm, you don't win that.
Okay. There you go. That's your team then. If you guys are looking for like a degen nonsensical GBL team, you can run Regirock lead with Bubble Ludicolo and Bastiodon in the back. You're welcome.
I'm liking the Credilli and Credilli Lantern core.
Why balanced team when you can run an unbalanced line that people can't figure out what the hell you have in the back, and they still lose to anyways, even though they lead up Blaziken into your team ABA week to fighting, right?
I agree, that's definitely more fun.
I don't know if it's fun, but it seems effective if you know how to use it properly, because a lot of people do pretty well.
Running an unbalanced line, or like running something weird that you're getting the wins with, I think sounds very fun to me. Oh, the consistency drops a little with Arachnid in the squad.
Credilli, Lantern, Arachnid. Well, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. So you're leading Arachnid with this lead?
Yeah, I was thinking probably leading Credilli. ABB water it. But if you like safe swapping Arachnid, then there's probably like if they have Bastiodon in the back, then you're in a lot of trouble.
It's a lot of fun for Lantern with all those bubble beams you're gonna get off.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'd probably just throw straight Bug Buzz, to be honest.
Against Bassi?
No, sorry. If they brought in Lantern against my Arachnid.
Yeah. But you could bait.
They wouldn't shield. At least they wouldn't shield the first one. A Thunderbolt would take us into the yellow, wouldn't it? So I don't think we can afford to try and bait and then get back up to a Bug Buzz.
Depends on how 5-head you want to be. Sometimes opponents shield the first one because they think there's no way in hell they would bait the first one. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a safe shield. If you want to shield like an Umbreon or something, you might as well shield early.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go for the big move, most likely, right?
So that's if you... Okay, so you'd have to know, then, that if you... So, in this scenario where it is Arachnid into Lantern, you would only shield with the Lantern if you know for certain that they're going to get to another Bug Buzz. Because then it makes sense to throw the first one when they're more likely to throw the nuke and not bait.
Can I also say one thing is that like I don't really necessarily like when I'm building teams, I don't really like take much stock into the rating that they get on PV Poke. No offense.
Which is
PV
fair.
Poke.
No, I agree. It's just real nice seeing AAA bit or AAA across the board. In fact, like that's during what was it? Obstagoon Aurora's Cup. What was it? The Holiday Cup. Like the Aurora's Giratina matchup got A's across the board, and for me, like that core was fantastic. I think anything that is good enough together to get
That was a
all
Verzian Aurora's card.
Was it Virizion Aurora? I think Giratina Aurora's also got that. No, yeah, because like the Dragon Breath Giratina beat the Obstagoon.
But then you lose to the Sand Slash pretty hard. Which is a pretty popular Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used that Virizion double Aurora's team. That was the team I hit Legend with.
I mean, the point is, like, normally, yeah, you've got to take the PvP ratings with a pinch of salt, but I think this is very telling.
It's a little more reliable in the custom metas, when there's, like, more of a limited meta, because of variability. But then, sometimes things are ranked, like, in certain places, but, like, even it might be ranked high, but it might not do well against, like, what people are using, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair. And there's also, like, my big problem with the Swampert Skarmory core is it relies so much on alignment. Where you don't have much play if you can't align the right Pokemon to the right thing. Whereas I don't think this has quite the same issue. I don't, like, yeah, Lantern is gonna hate going up against any grasses. Credilli, not as much of it. There's not, like, too many hard counters.
Even in, like, negative, well, probably Blaziken. One of the tougher ones for it.
That's the big one, sure.
I feel like Basti would be pretty annoying for Credilli.
It'd be annoying, but not a hard counter.
Yeah, Basti would definitely win that.
Yeah.
You get off a few grass knots.
Well, what I'm saying is it's no Skarmory Swampert, right?
Yeah. Credilli's nice because, like, even in, like, negative matchups, you usually can, like, take a shield.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe Credilli is better than Regirock then. You do Credilli, something else, Basti.
Let me try putting Regirock in there, see what it says.
Oh, but if you put Registeel there, it's gonna be like it's gonna go off the charts.
Oh wow, that's awful. Yeah, you're losing to your Swampert, Credilli, Ludicolo, Quagsire, Lumberrat. I mean, okay, so it's all Mud Boys, really. And Credilli. So do I, Blob.
What is that guy saying?
I hope to see a Lilip. I want to see a Lilip if I can beat it.
Yeah, like I said, Anhoff has a Lily.
Mm-hmm.
And she's used it before. She's run teams with, like, ABB, Credilli, Lily backlines.
Abomasnow Lantern looks alright.
This looks kind of actually disgusting.
What's that one?
This is Credilli Basti Core.
Oh, okay.
That looks kind of actually depressing. How good it looks.
What's its threats?
Regirock, Blaziken, Alolan Sandslash, Samurott, and Polion. I mean, like, I don't know how... I mean, Blaziken looks pretty good, but...
So, as far as water types go, obviously Lantern is the best one. Would you put Empoleon next?
For what?
As in best water types in the meta?
No, I think like Swampert and stuff is better water
Empoleon
type, right?
does well against Swampert as long as you can avoid the...
I just think the waterfall
earthquakes.
the waterfall damage is gonna hurt it more. Like the Swampert has Mudshot, like, and with the popularity of also you get completely destroyed by Lantern so like
you have a lot more play against Razor Leafers.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the Electric Cup. It's also a Lantern Cup.
Lantern definitely best water type for Electric Cup.
I think Swampert. I think it's like, in my opinion, like Swampert, Araquanid, Toxapex, or even maybe like Pelipper are like really like A tier water types.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the matchup, like, where is that? Where is
So simple to get a Toxapex. For sure, Toxapex, good pick.
Did I miss it? I must have missed it. Yeah, it does really well against Bassi.
But then so does Swampert. Actually, Quagsire would be good for handling the Arachnids if that turns out to be pretty popular. Would also do better against a Bomber Snow than Swampert would.
Like you have one hit KO potential at least.
Yeah. It's bulkier than Swampert, isn't it?
Yeah. They just need to give it a. I think like if it had like a G-Fist moveset, it would just be so much better.
Oh, I mean, it would be busted then.
Steel is much better than. Steel ground is probably a better typing than water ground, but.
I'm not saying it would replace G-Fisk, but I'm saying like if Quagsire had Mudshot, Rock, it had the same moveset as G-Fisk, then it would be a busted Pokemon.
Wildcat was like obsessed with Quagsire for
it's fun.
Vanguard method or meta.
Little bean.
And then he got like 303, and then he was like, I think I finally convinced him to bench the Quagsire. He hasn't been the same since.
You broke him. I'm actually like really liking that Quagsire pick.
Sure.
I'd probably do that instead of Swampert. But then, okay, here's a disadvantage, is that you don't have the ability to flip against the Credilli, the Shadow Swampert does.
Yeah. The Hydro Cannon is nice against the rock types. For sure.
But, like, Credilli's the only rock type where that really matters, because, like, against your Regirock, your Bastiodon, your Earthquake. Done.
Yeah, like, you destroy Basti. Regirock is kind of like, you beat it, but, like, Focus Blast still does, like, a good chunk to you, right?
Yeah.
You might see a few Regirocks running Earthquake, too, potentially, to help with Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you can hit Lantern, but then if you run Earthquake, then you don't, it hurts you against, I guess it doesn't really hurt you. Well, Focus Blast is a better move than Earthquake. So there's that, I guess.
So are you saying that you don't see a reason to run Earthquake as your second move?
No, I think you could. Oh, Credilli, that's where it would help.
Ah, yeah.
That's one thing where Focus Blast definitely helps.
How much does a Focus Blast do to a Credilli? It's alright, don't look it up, I'll
Probably like a good chunk. I would say probably like when it's super effective on bulky Pokemon, Focus Blast usually does like somewhere around like 85% or something like that.
75.
Yeah, so yeah, something like that. With the lock-on damage. I did a practice battle with Wildcat today. And he brought in the Basti. Wait, I forget what my lead was. I don't remember. I think it was Lantern or something. And oh no, I don't think it was Lantern, but I was like trying to calculate in my head like how much a Focus Blast was gonna do. Because I'm like, well, Regirock hits harder than Registeel. And also my Regirock has like almost like 15 attack. So I did like a great. And then he died with the next stun Stone Edge as I was locking him down and kill him with 100 energy. It was pretty disgusting.
That's a Pallet Town PvP play of the day.
Yeah, it was. Too bad I didn't record it, but I was like, I'm like, okay, how much is this gonna do? Like, it's hard to. That's another like very tricky thing about using the Reggies. It's like undercharging moves is like very important because
it's very precise. It's like surgical precision.
Yeah, but if you can get that like little bit of extra energy coming in a matchup, because like going into another matchup, if you have like an energy lead, then like you start spamming those charge moves, right?
No, you can't TM it, unfortunately, Cubone. You like so we were saying a bit earlier that your best bet is to go Infestation.
Or try to contact locals and see if any of them possibly has one. But the thing is, you also need like a very high IV one. So you would like basically have to be like lucky friends with a local around you that happen to have a Bullet Seed Lily, and then that's the best way to get it. But I don't think there's any of them out there. People have a hard enough time finding Reggie Rocks, let alone unobtainable Legacy Lilies.
Toxapex is doing great against all your Razor Leapers because it's doing super effective damage.
Yeah. Plus, a lot of the rock, like Credilli, is a grass rock, so that helps with Toxapex, right?
Yeah. So everything.
And your poison water, so you're taking neutral back from them, right? So.
Yeah, so everything's neutral among that matchup.
So it beats Credilli.
It does beat Credilli?
Yeah, according to this.
That would be with a brine bait. What if I turn baiting off here?
Yeah, that's with a brine bait. I don't even think you need the bait, to be honest with you. Looking
yeah,
at
no,
this,
you're right. Yeah, still wins with straight Sludge Wave. And still wins all the even shields.
Yeah. Yeah, you win the 2 shield straight Sludge Wave, because if they double shield, you just need a brine to knock out at the end.
Yeah.
Brine does 22% to Credilli. I don't know.
22%?
Seems like a lot.
Yeah, more than what I thought it would.
%20 to a rank 1 Credilli.
There you go.
Coming from a rank 1 Toxapex. The thing about Toxapex is a lot of times, like, you're not going to play out the... More times than not, most Toxapex players, they're not going to play at the 2 shield. They're going to play at the zeros.
Okay. Here's my next question.
Right.
Is there anything that becomes, like, the Drifblim to Vigoroth situation? So, like, Vigoroth is an amazing safe swap in most metas until everyone starts bringing Drifblim specifically to hit those people who use Vigoroth as a safe switch. What is an equivalent of that in this meta for Credilli?
I mean, what resists?
What
grass?
is an actual hard counter?
Probably like on a lowland sand slash would probably be like the hardest counter, or maybe Blaziken.
Blaziken probably also.
Blaziken will just outpace it, right?
Yeah.
And like the charge moves, unlike other rock types where you're resisting the charge moves, with Blaziken it's like neutral damage. So with the counters, like you basically like you just need like a Blaze Kick to KO essentially.
And so if you're running Stone Edge, you're getting to each Stone Edge in 16 turns. So the Credilli does outpace to the Stone Edge, which Blaziken would have to shield there.
The Blaziken? But why would you Stone Edge?
The Credilli would outpace to the Stone Edge.
It's 5 times 3. It's 15, right?
15, yeah, and Blaziken's takes 16 turns.
Takes 12 turns to get the Blaze Kick.
No, to Blaze Kick, sure. So you'd have to bait.
Do you need to land anything other than a Blaze Kick with all the counter damage?
Let's see.
I feel like you don't.
You got it.
No.
Okay, yeah, just go straight.
If they have a little bit of an energy lead, and they bait, then they get the 2 stone edges. But but don't they?
Yeah, not even that.
No, get this.
So isn't that they're throwing that blaze kick on the 3rd turn of that last bullet seed that they need?
Oh, this one, but it will be a CMP tie, right?
Yeah, right.
So you need a 2 bullet seed advantage, and then you need to also bait in order to get to a, and then the Blaziken still lives technically.
So
with 1 HP.
What PV poke doesn't do yet, which would be really nice, is you can't set it to be like, okay, what if they switch in halfway through this move? Because like you can say you can give it like half of a bullet seed's worth of energy, like 7 energy, but then like it's still, when it's firing that first bullet seed in the sim, it's using the whole 3 turns. It would be nice to say, okay, let's give it, let's start the Credilli's timeline 2 turns sooner, so that it's completing that first bullet seed as the Blaziken comes in.
Yeah, the Blaziken doesn't have much health at the end of this. A bullet seed does 2.5% to Blaziken. If they eat a Stone Edge and the 1 shield, they have like 4 HP basically. But the 1 shield is the closest potential one. The 0 shield. Wait, why are they not? Yeah, see, this is sometimes weird shit about PV poke.
Yeah.
Like, look at it. It's like, okay, why don't they throw that? Well, it doesn't KO, right? Who gives a shit? Why the hell
just
would you,
throw it?
Why the hell would you throw a grass knot? Yeah. So it's definitely, the 2 shield is like really solid, but again, you could probably get a shield advantage out of that because they'll most likely shield the Stone Edge, right? You just go right for it.
Yeah, if you just don't shield anything, you can, like, you definitely get 1 shield out of them, and then like go into the rest of the matchup 2-1 shields up.
You just might want to shield it to preserve health because it gets them so low, and they get a lot of value out of the Blaziken if they shield that and over farm a bit, right?
The trouble is you're probably not going to get to a 2nd Stone Edge if I was reading the Sims right, which means you can't. You're giving up shield advantage to stop them from getting that extra energy.
They would
Oh, so they are getting to another Stone Edge?
No, not if they leave with 23 energy and like almost like a full health. So it's pretty tough. I don't like to. Okay, so like I've been having the tendency recently to not like to shield. Like if my opponent already uses 1 shield, okay, I don't like to sometimes use a shield to like force my opponent to double shield, because oftentimes your opponent will double shield, and then they'll come out of the matchup with like a crap ton of energy, and then you only have 1 shield left, and then you're gonna have to use it on all the energy that they have, and then you have no shields left, and it just becomes kind of tricky at that point, right? So I don't know. It's kind of a, if you have something that can soak all that energy, like let's say you have a Bastion on, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Just a second.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I've done that with, like, so I've been running in Great League the Abomasnow Metacham Azumarill line, and if I've had a lot of situations where I've run into Metacham lead and then swapped into my own Metacham and they counter with Noctowl. Now you can, like, if you double shield with the Metacham, you can usually wait out that switch clock and then, you know, open it back up to switch into one of your other Pokemon again. Get the Medicham out of there. But by that stage, the Noctowl has a Sky attack ready. So you've used both your shields. So like a Abomasnow, which would normally be fine against Noctowl, suddenly is not so fine. So I've got to switch into the Azumarill at that point to tank that energy. And then they probably have a Lantern, yeah.
Or something. Sable guy.
So I think my favorite picks that we've talked about so far, as in things that might not instantly come to mind for people, are Toxapex, Quagsire,
this one seems very interesting.
Shadow Wave Slash. Yeah, I'd put that in there.
So what were you saying? Lantern Credilli was a core you liked?
Yeah.
So Shadow Sand Slash can break that core.
Yeah.
It won't be able to beat both them, but it seems really nice with the Shadow Claw damage. It gets absolutely destroyed by a Alolan Marowak, but I think you'd be more worried about a Blaziken, because I think the fighting damage is better than a fire fast move damage in the meta.
Yep.
You see Regice there, which is interesting pick. Not sure how good it is. Poliwrath is interesting as well.
And Kingdra for me is the other nice one.
Regice beats Credilli in the one shield, but you have to beat a Thunder. So it can be a little inconsistent.
And if they let that go, the Thunder's doing nothing.
Yeah, Blizzard is pretty threatening though.
Yeah.
Tyrant is ranked pretty high. Samurott here, you're a water type that beats Credilli pretty well because of the Fury Cutter.
And Megahorn. That would be the main thing.
Yeah, you do get walled by like a Pelipper. And you lose to Lantern obviously because of the sparks. But I always like using Samurott, so
I think I prefer Quagsire.
Or Samurott?
Over Samurott.
Well, Samurott does things that Quagsire can't do, right?
Yeah, some.
Quagsire's a ground type.
I think the Stone Edge provides more benefit.
Samurott is more similar to like Politoed.
Yeah.
Or Poliwrath. It's more of like a pure water. Whereas the Mud Boys offer like slightly different sort of dynamic. This is a shitty Lantern. Rainy Castform.
Yeah, it's a shame because like Rainy Castform is good. Like don't get that wrong. Like it's a good Pokemon. Just it can't compete with Lantern.
Yeah, I really can't.
It's like I'm a good battler, but you know, you put me in the same room with Lyle, then
you suck.
Yeah.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
That's the point I was making. That's the joke I was making.
Yeah, you're fine. You're pretty good battler. I don't know what your problem is, so you should be doing better than you do sometimes. I don't know why. It dumbfounds me.
Oh, sure. Seeking.
It has decent coverage moves. Like the drill run does hit super effective on Lantern, but it is a little slow, and everything is non-stab. It says it's flexible.
It says it loses pretty hard.
Switch though, it's ranked 89.1 as a switch. So if we look over at switches, so like you were saying, Lily, Credilli seem like. Again, Lily's probably better as a switch because of the ancient power. It's just gets there a little quicker.
Yeah.
Araquanid is ranked number 3 as a switch. Pelipper, I would not use this as a safe swap.
Just because
I'm
of the
sorry?
lantern.
Because of this guy. Sea King's number 6. I don't hate it because it's kind of a setup mon, right? It can, like, with the Icy Wind Drill Run combo, it can set up your...
Let me see those wins and losses again.
Yeah, saying it beats...
It's suddenly doing a lot better against Lantern. Like, it's, like, on even energy, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, main losses are Razor Leafers, Jellicent, Toxapex, but you do have the Drill Run, right? Bombastone, Crustle. I don't hate it. You could run like a team with like Sea King and like maybe Swampert or something, or Sea King and Quagsire, right? Then you just need something to handle like the grass types and some of the other poison types and stuff in the lead.
We haven't talked about Frostlass at all.
Yeah, it's not very common, I guess, but my opponent, I did a practice battle today, and they really surprised me by bringing the Frostlass, and I was like thinking, like, is this thing eligible? Like, why is no one talking about this?
Yeah, like it's always good. Why do you think it's not really like factoring here? Like, it'd be great against a Credilli. Like that's probably
just because of how bad it is against Lantern. Which is not even that bad against Lantern.
Just that one matchup would not stop it from ranking highly. There has to be more.
Yeah, it does well against like Credilli, Toxapex, Abomasnow does well enough.
In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and say
not very many top meta. Like it loses to. It says it loses to like a lot of things in the meta. So
this is the one shields again. So yeah, I guess Swampert's beating it as well. I was thinking maybe Frostlass could very well be like the most common answer to Credilli safe swap.
Yeah, that too. Again, though, you're getting shields as the Credilli, right?
How much does an Avalanche do after all the Powder Snows?
Credilli? Like, man, it does a lot. Like, it's one of the best matchups. So, that's the thing, is, like, if Credilli is as popular as we think it might be, then Frostlass might just become popular because of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, because, yeah, sure, you can get a shield back with a Stone Edge, but, like, they're getting the shields from you with the Avalanches, so...
It wins basically all the even shields except the zeros.
Ooh,
if you give Credilli a slight energy lead, it still wins because it doesn't get to the... It needs 2... Well, you could win the 2s, actually. So that's... If it has 1 energy lead, 1 bullet seed, and they bait you twice, they get to a Stone Edge to KO you before you get to the 3rd Avalanche. So that is pretty important.
That is, yeah, totally.
It's kind of like a tough... Like, I would probably be more likely to just try to get a shield advantage, but it is definitely a win con possibility.
I mean, you can still try and get shield advantage while going for the double bait.
Yeah. But if they call a bait, oof.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world, isn't it? Grassnot's still doing 50%.
But if they call a bait, then they can shield the next one and over farm.
Then if you go like a Lantern, then you can tank a Shadow Ball just fine. Farm it down from there.
2 Shadow Balls KO Lantern, basically.
Oh, I'm not gonna... I'm not necessarily thinking that... Okay, so let's play this out. So this is in... Let's go the 1 shields. Credilli has 1 bullet seed of energy. So let's say they shield the first one and then call the second one. So Bullet Seed, and then we go for a Grass Knot here, which they call. So we've used one apiece, then they get to the... so, wait, you want to farm us down here? No, they can't really farm us down. Hang on, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Down.
Whoops,
you son of a nutcracker.
We're shooting the first one there. We're shooting this. I don't know what's going on with this at the moment. Let's just throw the avalanche straight away. Do you want us to use 2 shields here? No. We don't want to come out with a shield disadvantage, do we? So if we don't shield that second avalanche, then they KO us.
We ain't shielding. Shit. Okay, Sea King. Maybe I'll try to come up with a Sea King team then.
You've lost interest in this. I wanted to see if, like, if the Frostlass can come out of that Credilli matchup. If they do call a bait, can the Frostlass come out with enough energy to threaten a full health Lantern?
Also, just depends on how... Yeah, for sure.
I don't think they can.
Also, just depends. Well, the Lantern's not going to be able to like overfarm a lot, right?
No, you're right.
It also depends on how popular Basti is, right?
Yeah.
If Basti's super popular, then means that it's going to be riskier.
I don't know,
but I've been safe swapping Frostlass in Great League for my last like 250 battles, and I've faced quite a bit of Bastiodon, and it doesn't seem to mind.
Yeah. I think Bastiodon, I feel like, has the same amount of usage in most metas. There's people who are just either Bastiodon fans or not.
I always find that, specifically, I don't know if it's Open Great League, but the higher up I climb, sometimes in Open Great League, the more Basti users and Shadow Vic users I see.
Interesting.
Seems like those teams tend to work well and allow people to climb.
Interesting.
So, yeah. I was able to beat a team today that was... I think I got very lucky by how the opponent played it. It's Shadow Dragonair lead with Basti Medi in the back.
Oh wow! I do like Shadow Dragonair.
So I have a Chestnut lead. So it's a little tricky, to say the least. But
I had one yesterday where they were running Shadow Vic lead. They ran into my Bomber. Yeah, so they switched straight out. They came in with what was it again?
Medi?
I think it was Medi. No, they came in with Bastiodon, and so we just counter it down. No, you know what happened?
How did they come in with Basti?
No. Okay, no. Here's what happened. So it was the Vic into my Bomber Snow. I built up to a Weather Ball. They didn't switch out. I threw the Weather Ball. They didn't shield it, so the Vic just goes down immediately. Then they bring out Bastiodon into my Bomber Snow, and I switch to a Azumarill.
Okay.
Rather than my Medicham, don't switch to your hard counter. And they just insta-swap into the Medicham they've got. And when they see that they've just swapped their Medicham into my Azumarill, they quit.
Medicham can handle Azumarill okay, though, right?
I mean, it can, kind of.
It depends what you have in the back there.
The point of the story was they ran a toxic team and they got owned. They were like, nah, screw this.
Yeah. Sounds like a tough lead. Most of the time, most people in that scenario, they would just swap like if they're really like a good at running that type of team, they would just go into meta champ. At that point, what do? You go to Azu, right?
As in, so like if you're running their team and you encounter that lead, you just swap straight away into the medi.
No, I'm saying they would swap into the meta champ against your Amisno.
Yeah.
You would come into Azu.
Yeah.
They could potentially flip that.
Yeah.
But they would probably have to give up both shields.
Which, so if they manage to, not that they know this because they don't know my third Pokemon, but if they did manage to flip switch, then that would absolutely win them the game hard.
Unless they were down shields, because then you could take out the victory bell.
With my Metacham, sure, but then they've got Bastard.
Because Azu is like kind of like a, that's why people aren't using it as much, just because like even Metacham and Sableye are just super annoying to deal with. Like it's saying here, Azu loses the one shield.
Yeah, right. That's straight one shield, isn't it?
Yeah, that's just straight psychic. They get to 3 psychics. So that's without... I think maybe if you bait... No, you still... Because the problem is the play rough doesn't knock out the...
Yeah.
The Metacham, and this is like they survive with 1 HP to get to the last psychic.
Yeah.
So this is without the bubble nerf, right?
Yeah.
Before, this was never a thing.
Yeah.
But now, like, even the 2 shield, like, if they bait... Okay, it still says...
And also now that level 50 is a thing.
Yeah, it's really close, basically.
But we want to get too sidetracked off of Weather Cup.
Wait, what? Azu's eligible in Weather Cup?
Azu is eligible, yeah. Metacham's not.
Maybe they'll allow it. Everyone loves a Medicore, right? So
do you
want to Bonds if you're a counter user?
Do you want to go through Lyle's spice picks?
I already gave some, but Seaking seems sort of spicy, but also seems kind of good. No, that was my pick.
No. I pointed it out to you. You check the tapes, buddy.
How about Crustle? Fury Cutter Crustle.
Alolan Marowak. Obviously.
No, not Alolan Marowak.
As a fire type, so like, I'm looking for advice. If you're going to run a fire type in your squad, I'm just looking for which fire type might have certain advantages over other fire types.
I don't think fire fast damage is going to be that beneficial. That's the only problem. And also, like, Fire Spin is worse than Wing Attack or Counter, too, right?
I bet it would have a better matchup against Credilli than Blaze. No, it wouldn't be like Blaze coming together. I meant defensively. I was thinking only defensively. I was forgetting about the offensive matchup there.
Well, it takes super effective from Rock, whereas Blaziken takes neutral.
Yeah, also, but it's so glassy that like I imagine a Stone Edge would actually do similar amounts of damage as a percentage to AWAC than it would to Blaziken.
This is one that's kind of intriguing, like a Blastoise or Tentacruel as well. Plays slightly different than Toxapex.
Tentacruel.
I think Ninetales is ranked like very low here, but I still think it might be decent.
Yeah, look at that. Stone Edge actually does a higher percentage of damage to Blaziken than it does to AWAC.
Yeah, because it's glassy.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, I'm not sure down here. I think
Lycan Rock?
No. Is Samurott spicy or no?
Reasonably.
I like Samurott. I think it could be interesting with the bug damage.
Like Rock with your, it's like it does the counter things that Blaziken does, but it beats your fire types.
Wow, we're getting really into some bad crap down here, right?
And it would beat Arachnid, wouldn't it?
Which?
Lycanroc.
Yeah, Lycanroc. Maybe. I don't even know, actually. Because counter is resisted, Stone Edge is a high energy move, and they're taking neutral and super effective bubble beams. No, you get clapped. Oh, you know you beat Arachnid. This is who wins? Yeah, baiting you win.
Yeah, right.
Again.
Okay.
I think
So you're preferring Stone Edge Blaziken there.
yeah, that's why you really resist because you double resist Bug Bite with Blaziken too, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely only going to be doing like one or two damage. Here it's doing 3 damage.
Again, your Mud Boys are a huge problem there. I mean, Alolan Golem would be a great counter to your Frostlasses.
I think Crustle could be interesting as well. I think this bug damage. This bug damage is interesting.
Yeah.
You could run Fury Cutter Crustle. And then you would do better against Credilli, and also better against like Swampert and stuff like that than with Smackdown.
That's still not a particularly nice matchup against Credilli, even with Fury Cutter.
So Fury Cutter allows you to beat Abomasnow, though. You beat Smackdown Crustle, and you can beat Wishcash. It says Smackdown is overall better, but...
So how does that matchup go against Credilli with either move? Says it's exactly the same. That's weird.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Where do those go?
Anyone watching this, you should see how many tabs Lars got open.
Only a couple.
100.
Okay. It's with a bait though too, which is interesting. He's so loose. X's are just so bad, right?
It is. I mean, it's not a terrible move. It's just it's not really giving you that shield pressure that you want.
You die with the... So, like, if they bring in this thing as an answer, then it's not good answer to you. Like, let's say you safe swap a Crustle.
Yeah.
Credilli is not an answer to a Crustle safe swap.
Yeah, that's fair. But then Mudboy Lantern could probably handle it just fine.
Even Blaziken, like, it's pretty close. But you can't farm down with Fury Cutter. Yeah. Anyways, that's just my thoughts. I don't know too much. I don't have too much else to say about the meta until it actually comes out, but I think, yeah, like, based... It just as a general consensus, like, the things that we talked about to being the top pick, like, the best way to find something is, like, okay, so we go here, we go to Weather Cup, and so, like, which ones were we saying were going to be, like, the best things? Like, Lantern, right? Bastiodon.
DJ
Credilli.
Storytime, thank you for the follow.
What else? Blaziken, right? Pelipper?
I don't... Look, I'm not saying Blaziken's going to be bad. I just don't think it'll be, like, super popular. We want to look at the most popular stuff, don't we?
Regirock
Regirock's
has
up
a
there.
pretty good
Shadow
matchup.
A/Slash.
The Alolan Sandslash does well against everything other than Blaziken. Lantern, again, as well, does pretty well here. So, like I said, that's a good way to find some potential core breakers. So, like, if you want to run, like, a Lantern on Regirock, it could be an interesting core to run.
Yeah, cool.
For sure.
I think we end up with that.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again. Let's find someone on
Always
Twitch to
a
raid.
pleasure.
And
yeah, for sure.
We've got Electric Cup next week, don't we?
God damn that cup.
First name I saw
It
here was
looks
Dragon.
so bad. Like, I literally was looking at some of the crap. It's like, Water Gun Lantern, like, there's a Hisuian Electrode's like in a grass type, right?
Mm-hmm.
Water Gun Lantern actually, like, has like a ridiculous close matchup with Hisuian
Really?
Electrode. Yeah, it's so stupid.
So Water Gun Lantern is just going to be the bee's knees, right? Is that what you're saying? Like, it's going to be the
shit. We can read Dragon Silk if you want. He just went live not that long ago.
That's a good
He's
idea.
a local of mine. Huh?
It's a good idea.
Yeah. So I'll come.
I already got the raid started.
And you're raiding Dragon Silk?
Yeah.
Oh well, great minds, as they say, right? Perfect.
There are a couple of mud slappers in the meta, which would be really interesting.
Yeah, that's about it. Like Vikavolt or whatever the hell.
Yeah, Heliolisk.
Heliolisk looks bad. Vikavolt kind of looks okay. Not gonna lie.
I was seeing PV Poke talk about how the one advantage Heliolisk has is that like Vikavolt will get crushed by the Alolan rocks, even with Mudslap. Whereas Heliolisk doesn't have that same thing to worry about.
Okay. Did we raid yet? Sorry.
Yes, now.
I have a